This clip is brought to you by our friends over at Super 6. Now, there needs to be a jackpot winner. It's been far too long since the Super 6 jackpot has been won. Let me remind you, it is completely free to play, and all you have to do is correctly predict 6 score lines to win yourself £250,000. You can also compete against myself, Theo, and Tom in the Super 6 Pitch Side Mini League using the code PTCHS6, and the winner of each round wins a £100 Classic Football Shirts voucher. It's so easy to play. Just predict your 6 scores, enter your golden goal, hit submit, and you're all set. It's a free shot of £250,000, so you might as well get involved. There's been 3 Super 6 jackpot winners already this season. You could be the 4th.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are following us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Give us a 5-star rating. It massively helps us out. Enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Pitch Side. Now, it seems quite solemn at the moment because obviously certain events have occurred. Anything happen whilst I was away, guys? Tom? Oh.
Where is he? Has anybody seen Tom?
Nah, I feel awful, I can't lie.
Yeah, should we talk about it to begin with?
I snapped his humerus in half.
You always was a funny guy, eh?
Hey.
He's been preparing that for a long time.
I felt his bone snap in half in my hand.
Theo Breaker, as the internet is now
Baker.
crowned you.
Theo, the breaker of bones and banjos, Baker.
Yeah. His own, obviously.
Tom is...
We should address the fact that Tom is actually okay.
Well, not really.
Well, as okay that he can be in this situation on the path to recovery.
He has to sit there with his arm resting because he physically can't. He's in a sling and a cast, but he actually can't move it because it's still detached and hanging off.
Yeah.
So we haven't released the X-ray, and I don't think we will. But we basically took him to hospital. I took him to hospital.
Yeah.
And
talk us through
it was you know when one of them movie moments where you know when like in movies when like you park out the front, you go help me. I did that. I actually did that. We parked out front.
He's just walked in there because his legs are fine.
And there's like an ambulance out.
So don't worry about me, boys.
No, he actually couldn't walk because he couldn't hold his arm up. So we had to push him out. Get him out of the office was a fucking nightmare.
Oh, it was awful.
It was awful. He was in so much pain. And we had to get him on one of these chairs. But anyways, we rock up to the front of the hospital and the ambulance is there like, I go, help me please.
Are you saying it as well?
No, he's like, and this lady, really helpful lady, goes and gets a wheelchair for Tom. So obviously so he can rest it, and then we wheeled him in. And I go, what about my car? And she goes, don't worry, son, I'll look after it.
That old chestnut.
I said, okay.
Put the Tesla in valet mode.
And we walk into the A&E. Thank God, by the way, it was a quiet hospital. I walk in, I go, he snapped his arm, help us. And they all come running and helping us. And they go, what happened? I go, let me show you. And then they all go, oh.
But the thing is, even after, probably at that point, it was mega viral. So I'm not surprised that people in the hospital might have already known.
Oh yeah, no, everyone in the hospital was talking about it.
Yeah,
it must have been really helpful for them though to be able to see what happened.
It was very helpful that they could see what had happened.
Yeah.
It didn't help Tom though, the fact that everyone in the hospital and all the nurses were freaking out over it.
Yeah.
They were all like, oh my God. But imagine being Tom, sat in the wheelchair in the worst pain of his life, and the nurses are freaking out.
Mate, for me, it was like when we were wheeling him out here, and as we were taking away and he's in pain, we're trying to bounce his arm, you're like, do you want to take a cup of Berg, Tom? I was like, what?
Well, my reasoning was alcohol will help.
Yeah, no, I get the thought process.
Oh, as in like a painkiller?
Yeah, as a painkiller.
I said, do you want your Copperberg?
Quickly down the Copperberg, lad.
No, but you feel so sick when you break a bone, innit? You feel so sick.
Yeah, Will, to be fair to Will was the first one out of it because he would have fainted.
Yeah.
But anyways, we get to hospital. They're like, okay, we need to get him an emergency X-ray. The problem with the X-ray was, obviously I'm not allowed in there. I can just hear him in the X-ray, and obviously they have to move his arm.
Yeah.
So you can just hear him like screaming in the X-ray as they're trying to move his arm to get the right shot. Eventually, he comes out the X-ray, and 6 nurses are around the computer looking at it going, oh, no.
Check this out. I've never seen this
Obviously,
before.
Tom didn't want to see the X-ray at that point because...
Freak you out a bit, wouldn't it?
It would freak you out a bit. So I went and saw the X-ray, and I just went...
Yeah. It is vile. The X-ray is just crazy.
Tom didn't shed a tear, by the way. He's a fucking...
what
he's
a trooper,
hard
by the
bastard.
way. Yeah.
Apart from... When I saw the X-ray, I came out, and it like hit me what I'd done. and like I got very emotional.
I could
started
tell that
crying.
you've been crying.
Okay.
I could. No, because you put out
I felt
you put
awful,
out an
man.
Instagram post and you sent me videos, and I could tell that you had.
Well, I felt awful because I felt terrible because I obviously
just broken someone's arm.
yeah, and I started crying in front of Tom. Like I started freaking out,
And then
a bit.
he started
and then he started crying because I started crying. So we had a bit of a bonding moment. It was quite cute.
nice.
Yeah, and then we said, "Oh fucking hell, what's wrong with us?" And then we saw Erdegaard had scored. We're like, "Oh yes!"
Yeah, because it's midway through the game.
Yeah.
Lift his arm.
no.
And then obviously they had to try and put a cast on him, which was a bit of an event. He was on gas and air. That wasn't strong enough, so we put him on this like green pen. I don't know what it's called, but the footballers have it. The green pen.
Yeah.
He was high as a kite. I've got some funny videos of Tom. He was still in pain, a lot of screaming and that. But yeah, he was very, very high. So release the tapes. I'm gonna send Tom the videos, and if he wants to post them, he can post them. They're pretty funny. Yeah. He's a smooth man. He's a smooth man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It took. I was helping out. I was holding him up, holding him down, holding the pen in his mouth as well. He was high, that's for sure. Anyways, they managed to get 3 nurses to put a cast on him. Then they had to go in for another X-ray while he had the cast on. Long story short, he opted to have the surgery up in Birmingham. He has to have emergency surgery to fix his arm back together. So he's going to have plates and nails and stuff in his arm and go beep in the airport security. But he's up in Birmingham now. We put him in a taxi. We put him in a taxi that night because obviously while he's on the stronger painkillers, get him up home back to his mum and dad. But yeah, long story short, he's in emergency surgery. He's doing all right. And I believe we have a video from Tom who's giving us an update.
Yeah, he sent us a little update.
Hello, boys. Just a quick update. I'm absolutely fucked. Nah, I'm not too bad. I'm hearing from the surgeon tomorrow morning when he can fit me in. Hopefully this Wednesday. If not, I'll have to wait another week. My arm's still flopping about in the cast, but in this position, chilling in my mum and dad's spare bedroom, watching the footy, I'm okay. Got a few drugs to help me. I've still got my little Penthrox pen, whatever it's called. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, I will be back on pitch side ASAP as soon as my arm allows me to move around freely. In the meantime, all the best, and I do snap like a carrot, it seems. Ta-ta.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Wishing Tom a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
And as soon as he had his surgery, he said he wants to be back on pitch side for a rematch.
With his left arm. Okay. He's left-handed though, right? So I mean...
No, he said he's ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous.
Well, he said he's left-handed but right-handed on certain things. He can play snooker with his left hand, darts with his right hand. He's just a man of many talents, really.
Okay, so it's not hindering him as much as if it was his dominant hand.
No, but obviously, please go subscribe and follow Tom on everything because he's going to be in a rough time. So send him some love, send him some support, and I bought him a few presents.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, well, they had to cut his t-shirt, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
You got a new wardrobe.
Got my new wardrobe.
Nice.
And then his trousers got covered in plaster from the cast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Anyone fancy another wrestle?
I think we're banning it off the show, but back to football. Thank you for being an appropriate replacement for Mr. Garratt.
I'll try my
Joey?
best. No worries.
Oh, you told me you've broken your femur before.
Yeah, I've broke my femur.
Really?
In a similar sort of thing, actually. I don't know whether
Leg wrestle.
No, it was like I don't know if you've ever played the football game. We've definitely played in England. I don't know whether people play it abroad, but where you put like a football between you and you like take 2 steps back and you have like a 50-50 challenge just to see who's like the stronger 50-50.
No.
Well, we used to play it where you put a ball in between, you take 2 steps back and then full blown.
Really?
As hard as you can.
Full power acceleration.
And and I snapped my femur doing that, like, just above the knee.
What? Someone just gone over the ball a little bit? Or?
Both hit the ball, and the top half of my leg carried on. The bottom half of my leg just snapped back. Like,
God!
Is that a game that people play? I've never heard
Good
of that.
God! Mother of God!
yeah.
You know, the
it's so
femur and the
uncomfortable,
humerus are the 2 strongest bones in the body. And actually, the only way to break them bones usually is in a traumatic car accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
no.
You know, Tom's arm is going to come out like stick thin. I had like a 12-week hip toe cast, and you lose all muscle because you don't use it. Tom's going to like be so lopsided.
He's going to have to get on the weights.
It will be hilarious.
Eventually. We'll get him back on it. Weightlifting.